Hi team, I apologize for not getting this uploaded yesterday, as I typically aim for Fridays. Spring break runs a little differently for my employer, and I'm a little busy here with family and religious holiday observances, but anyway, here we go. So let's start by debriefing the mid-course evaluations. Pull out my notes here. So thank you for your valuable and honest feedback about the course. It really helps me make adjustments to our current course and improve things for the next time the course is run. And I really remember as a master's student online, I felt like sometimes unheard or sort of lost in a vacuum. So I hope this congenial and responsive nature, is really based on my experience data and also intentionally designed to model some ways in which a supportive community of practice can be sustained. So that's something that's really modeling and applicable to the K through 12, P through 12 environment as well. And I invite everyone to reflect on how a supportive community of practice could look like in your personal learning environment and teaching environment. So last but not least, before I get to some specific comments and responding to feedback, Dr. R advised me that policy prohibits making changes to the syllabus once it's set. So this is part of the so-called contract of the course, and we all really have to adhere by it as a bottom line kind of thing. However, that doesn't mean that we can't make adjustments based on your feedback, and I think they'll probably be more optional, so that no one's grade could suffer for neglecting to participate in additional work, etc. And so please just send me an email if that feels unclear, if there's any questions. So let's dive in. I asked what was the best part of the course so far, and overall people seem to be finding the MLT and composition information very accessible. One person wrote about gaining familiarity with MLT by watching Gordon explain it himself, and I agree that his pathos and his ethos really helped me back when I was very first starting out and sort of feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the data. And later on, it's also been really nice for me to revisit and reacquaint. Another person wrote, I think the community of inquiry approach is working splendidly. I feel safe to express my thoughts and to challenge and prod ideas for deeper meaning, as well as have my own thoughts challenged and prodded. So that's spot on with my goal, and thank you so much for writing that, because that's what we're going for. Another person wrote, I've enjoyed exploring different elements of sound and the way that different people interpret what sound is. That's an exciting horizon for research, and so I'm really happy we're having this dialogue around the larger sonic medium. So, what about the course would you change or eliminate, and why? One person expressed concern over the Composer project, and I just want to clarify my intention for that was to create sort of a kid-friendly presentation that could maybe become a procured material for one of your future lessons. I can definitely think about the MLT connection and maybe beef that up for future sections. There was also a question about stress around due dates, and so by all means, guys, reach out if you need any support with due dates, and I try to be as flexible as possible without losing the richness of the inquiry and the process together. There's a really interesting comment about creating more opportunities for composing original work and seeing more strategies for scaffolding music comp in the classroom. So I was thinking maybe we could set up 2 new discussion board threads for those really valuable conversations, and then whoever wants to and is able to can participate. And I'm pretty sure that I and the whole group would have plenty to share around experiences with that. And if somebody wants to shoot me an email with more questions about that or requests, I'll go ahead and do it. And you're also welcome to include a screenshot of your compositions as part of your weekly discussion. And, we can provide feedback or take a look at it over UB Learns or email. I know that was someone asked about that. And again, Dr. R advised syllabi cannot be altered. This is not a syllabus change. It's just an additional thing I want to offer based on feedback and data. What are your expectations for learning during the remainder of the course? So I'm seeing more MLT, more practical opportunities. Again, I can't change the syllabus, but we definitely will keep that in mind in our discussion boards. And note that you'll also be engaged in those types of things for the remaining major course deliverables. And so if you want, you're more than welcome to begin thinking about that now, working on it now, and asking for feedback. So, for future semesters, would you recommend the course being run the same way or differently? How or why? Most people seem to be saying the same. Some people said switch to Schoology, which I felt the exact same way, so I'm definitely going to do that. Do you feel your knowledge of MLT plus composition is being enriched? Why or why not? Again, most replied yes. Some requested a little bit more practical, hands-on aspects in terms of how to compose music or how to run a MLT plus composition lesson. So let's just unpack that for a second. As classroom educators, we're the experts of that particular room of children and what they can and will accomplish. The art and craft of music composition can feel a little bit ethereal because the final product could look like a lot of different things. One of my previous composition teachers is famous for saying, it's not possible to teach someone to compose music, so I humbly disagree with that, but at the same time, our weekly readings are mostly concerned with the theoretical underpinnings of the art form itself and of MLT. And because MLT and comp are so rich as separate disciplines, I'm a bit more focused on this high-level discourse, and I can think about adding in some more specific literature on comp learning activities, comp lesson plans, or comp sequences. However, my personal feeling is these can be more easily procured, and I'm a bit more fixated on the mindsets, the educational theory, and the classroom culture required to sustain a rich compositional environment for kids. I can think more about this for future sections, but as I mentioned, the syllabus is more fixed than movable. So a little solfege pun. Anyway, for the time being, we can enrich the course in the ways I described above. What grade would you give the instructor at this point in time? 100% responded A. Thanks. What grade would you give yourself at this time? 63% responded A. I'm sorry, 63%. And 37% responded B. Great. Any other feedback? Thanks for all your hard work, Professor Z. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if this is possible, but it's hard to hear everything on the Gordon videos we watch each week. I enjoy them. It's neat seeing him present. But at times, the sound quality is not great. I wonder if transcripts are available. Thank you. Enjoyable course. So, unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that except write a note to the Gordon Institute of Music Learning, which I did. So I sent them an email, and we'll see. Hopefully they can help us out. Another awesome resource I want to highlight for you guys is the University of South Carolina's Dr. Edward Gordon archive at library.sc.edu/p/collection/Gordon. It's going to be hyperlinked in the text below, but I'll read it out one more time. library.sc.edu/p/collections/Gordon. Another person said the vlogs and blogs are great. I think you're doing an excellent job guiding my learning. Thank you for sharing your love of teaching and your passion for composition with me. Thank you so much. That's very nice to hear, especially for the first time this specific course is being offered and run. I really hope you encourage your colleagues to request this course for the fall, and they'll definitely see the innovations that you all suggested. So that's about it. I hope everyone feels their voices were heard and their concerns were addressed in a really transparent way. And yeah, I remember I always valued that as a 100% online master's student. So if there's anything lingering from this, any other questions, totally shoot me an email and we can schedule office hours. All right, a few quick hits of feedback from the discussion boards. So units 1 through 7 are more or less in the past, and I'm probably not going to focus on them unless there's a specific question or if I see there's ongoing activity. So let's take a look at 6, 7, and 8 a bit. Very quick point on Oliveros versus Gordon. So Oliveros and Gordon did not really work together. I'm not sure if they ever met. And there's actually not much overlap between them in the extant literature. However, we are using our higher order thinking skills here as researchers and reflective practitioners in the community of inquiry. And so that's part of my intention of the course, where we're considering sort of the horizons and the synergy between music learning theory and composition. That's sort of my process. Greg and Alex, I really want to commend you guys for spirited and ongoing conversation in DQ number 6. So everyone, please go back and provide your 2 cents if you want. Basically, the question that I saw was, what do you think would be the role of looking back at student memories when it comes to music learning and teaching? We were discussing various memories of how creativity or composition played a larger or lesser role, and sort of what we can be cognizant of as learners and as teachers. Great. Allison, I loved your comment in DQ7. I liked how you proposed the idea that space ideation type learning could be sequenced in a way that leads to practicing deep listening, and vice versa. And that's really something that you could think about for your lesson plan deliverable in this course. And I think it could be very creative. I agree with Caitlin's reply that deep listening really removes a lot of training wheels and scaffolds. And so it's like super open-ended to the listener's creativity, and sort of what comes out, comes out. And that process could be extremely tricky for kids if it's not scaffolded and sequenced very well. So hence the MLT, right? That opens up a larger question of doing deep listening with kids. And that's not necessarily a goal or a requirement of this course at all. However, if you feel you can pick up a deep listening activity as part of your sequence, then personally I don't see an issue with that. I mean, just like taking a learning activity from Orff, Laban, Alexander, if you sequence it into your work and you're still hitting the skill sets that you're trying to hit and the audiation process, then my feeling is go for it. Yeah, and Alexander actually asked that, has anyone tried a DL activity with kids in DQ number 7? So great question. Everyone please go ahead and chime in if you don't mind. This is the point where we can have some of that organic dialogue and this exchange of stories, experiences, data, which is awesome. So far we have 3 respondents to DQ8. Please go ahead and take care of that as soon as you can. As I mentioned to Gregory, the thing that I personally love about the experimental music aspect is how adults, artists, musicologists, performers, educators, etc., we're all still hashing out the role of Cage and others' music and what exactly constitutes that borderline between music and sonic art. Is it a defined border? Is it porous? Or is it hermetically sealed? All things to consider as we sort of enrich and grow our understandings and music teaching and learning. So that's about it for now. Happy vernal equinox, the days are getting longer, the sun is coming out. Happy Passover, happy Easter, and all that jazz. So as always, send me an email at zotique@buffalo.edu with any questions or office hours, and talk to you later. Bye.